I just go front pickup, humbucker. You get your Johnny Winter on, you know? With the, you know. So, and the best way to achieve that is just crank up an amp, you know? And the best way to achieve the optimum, you know, I mean, like Slash will say the same thing. It was just straight in, you know? That's like, it sounded like a Les Paul. I will use reverb, I'll use delay, I'll use a flanger sometimes, a boost, you know, but inherently what I want the rig to do is this to kind of stay true to what the guitar is. Now if I'm playing a Tele or a Strat, or I want the guitar to be front and center, not the rig, you know, and I don't want to manipulate the sound to so much where it's like you can't tell the difference between a Les Paul and a Tele, because it's two different, completely different animals.
Okay,
you know?
So when you walked in, I said this to you. I said, Joe, I set this my Jubilee up because I know you.
Thank you.
Yes. I thought to myself, well, Joe can play any guitar with any sound. I could set up a Tele with a clean sound through a, you know, through a deluxe or whatever, and you would play that. Or I could hand you a Strat and you would play that, and you would. It doesn't matter. You'll adapt whatever you play to whatever sound is coming out of the amp.
Yeah, yeah.
Now there are certain things that you prefer,
or certain things everybody prefers. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, but one of the things about having some headroom. I mean, both in volume and in frequency. So if I'm in a session and it's like I only have a Les Paul and I'm only playing through it, you could turn this down and get pretty much a twangy thing. Is it Brent Mason? No. Is it close enough for what we're doing? Yes. It will tick the box, you know? And those studio guys in Nashville, I mean, they have the rigs down so tight where it's like, okay, producer wants this kind of sound, that kind of sound. They have a button, they have a preset for everything, and they have amps that they switch from, and they have the kit. And, you know, they're amazing players and amazing musicians and really nice guys. And I never got called for those sessions. I never got called because I was a solo artist. So I kind of have to just be like, well, I can be a chameleon to a point, but then at a certain point you have to assert your identity.
right?
You know, or else you start losing focus. You know, it's like, yeah, look at all this stuff I can do, but then you listen to your solo record and you're like, well, the real Joe Bonamassa raises his left hand. It's like, and then you know, the song that started, that's the one everybody wants to hear. Not all this impressive stuff. You know, it's like so they just want to hear you shred over the blues, which is great. That's what the fans want, and that's what I give them.
I'd like to take a second to talk to you about this channel. This is actually Rick Beato 2. I've had it since the beginning of my main channel, and many of you are not subscribed. As a matter of fact, 87% of the people that watch this channel regularly are not subscribed. So I encourage you to hit the subscribe button on this channel and on my main channel. This will help me get even more of my dream guests and help continue to grow both channels. Thank you.
You're a great singer, and you're actually a tenor, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think the highest note I can hit is like if I get a running start up to the microphone, I could probably hit a high B.
Yeah.
Singing is the hardest thing you do every single day, because it is so predicated on how you feel at that particular moment. And, you know, it makes you, like, being a road singer, it makes you become a germaphobe. Because, like, I can hear nuances in people's voices at the meet and greet that I go, you're sick.
I'm not getting near you.
I'm not, yeah. There was this really nice guy who showed up the other day, and he had a Les Paul that he wanted me to look at. It was a 52 that was converted to look like one of these. This is a 58. And his first thing he said to me is like, I'm really sorry I lost my voice this morning. I'm like, I said, you got to stay over there. I'm happy to converse with you, but you got to stay over there.
Yeah.
And then he kept getting closer. I'm like, man, Because I promise you I'm not sick. I said, well, we're in, where we were. I don't know. We were in Springfield, Massachusetts. And I said, the people in Sarasota, Florida in 4 days are going to thank you when I wake up and I don't have a singing voice.
Right.
Because I'll probably, I just have to be careful.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of responsibility. There's a lot of people on the road.
And you don't want to have to do an instrumental gig, Joe.
We don't have any instrumental. I mean, the last instrumental that we played with our band was Because We Ended as Lovers with John McLaughlin at Crossroads. That was the last instrumental we played. Like or not, I sing everything.
You do.
And I think it's the best thing I ever did for my career was learn how to sing, or at least shout and key. I'm not a great singer. I'm a guitar player who sings. There's the Lowell Georges of the world that who just there it is.
Okay.
And there's the Glenn Hughes of the world. Where like Glenn just opens his mouth and you're just like, I don't know where that comes from. I don't think he knows where it comes from. Singing hard, and his pitch center is great. And, that's one of the things you have to learn is it's like when you play loud guitar, you can't complain about the guitar being too loud when you're the singer and there's only one person standing there.
Right.
Because the singer always, the hierarchy was the singer complains about the guitarist turns up to piss off the singer. But if it's one person, it's self-defeating.
That's right. Got nobody to yell at.
And nobody yell at.
I always say to people, to guitar players or people in bands, if you're not improvising, how are the shows different every night?
And how do you trust what's coming out of the PA?
Right.
It's like, is it on tape or are you playing it?
Yeah. Well, talk about the excitement, though, of having somebody really being on a night.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, let's say, for example, the F sharp. So if you're playing, it's like when you start a solo, it's like what do you want to do? You want to ease into it, or do you want to sting them and then go back and then ease into it and then sting them at the end? There's two ways to do it. You could. This is like getting in. You go in Albert King style, or you can do something like that, which would be like, okay, save some for the paying customers, also save some for the end. But I like a little shock value, like we're like, and that may be the first 8 bars. Mm-hmm. I learned when I was a kid. It's like if I can just get people's attention by, playing something like what was that? That goes back to having a long last name that nobody could remember, 2 failed major label record deals, and a career that didn't seem that was going to take off at all. And I was like, well, I got to do something, And I would come up with these little gimmicks, And I was, if you ever want to see people freak out. It's like, hey, you want to start the slow blues? Okay, cool. So you can do it. So the way I do it is sometimes if it doesn't matter, it's like we're just having fun, And people, what was that? I was like, well, it's a different way of doing it. You know what I mean? It depends. You don't want to and I'm guilty of this all the time. And I have to if I listen back to what I'm doing, I'm like, okay, there's more frets than just 12 up, Play down here. And you want to avoid the whittly whittlies too much,
Although those are great.
They're great whittly whittlies.
That's right.
But, there's other frets,